Hello guys, welcome to my first video on Southern Built Garage. Today I'm going to be telling you my plans for the Mustang. Alright, so first things first, my first thing for this car is definitely going to be swapping LS. So, where I want to start with this LS swap, I'm wanting to do a 5.3 under the hood, run with a turbo 400 in the back, swap out the rear axle because there's no way the stock V6 Mustang axle is going to handle 400 horsepower and estimated 400 foot-pounds of torque before I mod the engine. We'll get to that in another video. What's in it right now? Well, right now it's a stock V6 Mustang that I have torn down the motor for the most part, getting it ready to come out of there. This weekend, hopefully, should be releasing a video of actually pulling the motor. Hopefully, once that's out, I will be able to go to LKQ, pick up an LS, and drop my motor off as a core. Some damage and stuff, but honestly, I think my plan for this thing is a semi-sleeper build. And the reason for the semi-sleeper build is, I mean, you pull up, next to this car, and you see this, maybe it's just sitting in the parking lot. You think, oh, it's just a crappy car, not worth the crap. And then you hear it once it's actually running. We'll actually make this functional. I'll make this a functional scoop for the intake. I'll probably 3D print something. We'll probably keep the, the headlights and everything. I might do some aftermarket headlights, actually. I'm definitely doing some aftermarket taillights on this thing. I want to run with some ET streets in the rear. And just probably some just regular old street tires up front. Run with a good little set of welds for the wheels, because around Christmas time last year, I think, Weld did something like buy one get one on a set of wheels, so definitely a good deal. This car I paid $300 for, and is surprisingly a really good car for what I paid. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna get the hood open and I'm gonna show you what we got under the hood right now. Here is the beautiful 3.8 liter V6. I know it is horrible under here. I've got stuff just kind of thrown out here and whatnot, but the plan is to kind of tear this down to where this is kind of what I'm gonna drop off, because, well, it's what I've got right now. So for here, we're gonna relocate the battery tray to the rear, the trunk, because, well, just more space to put some stuff. Might put the MSD box for the ignition control, because I am going carbureted. I am not going to spend an extreme amount of money for an ECU wiring harness and just fighting all that wiring. If you ask me, I prefer carbureted just because of that instant throttle. You gun it, it just dumps. So as for what all do I need to complete this? Well, first off, I need some mounts. So here's some mounts here. Those ones I believe were about $150, $200. So Summit Racing, I'll leave a link to all the parts, my parts list in the description. So the Summit Racing oil pan is meant to clear the cross member, the steering rack and everything that's under here. As for pulling the motor, where the heck am I gonna put my chains? Well, I'll probably just end up wrapping them around the manifolds here, because, well, there's plenty of room to do that, thankfully. And I'll probably just have my buddy hold the motor and help me guide it out of here. A lot of this stuff is no longer going to be in here. The heater core, I'm going to, just block those off. The fuse box and everything, honestly, I'm probably going to strip it all, because my plan for the interior here is going to be pretty much ripping everything out. I'm going to keep the factory dash and everything. I'm going to run with an aftermarket gauge cluster set, and I'll probably honestly just run some physical gauges on the dash for RPM and whatnot, because honestly, who needs to know the speed? Who does? I'm gonna cut the center console to fit the ratchet shifter, and I'll have to make something custom and clean. I am gonna replace these seats with some nice racing seats, and I'm gonna put some 4-point harnesses in there, so that if this thing decides getting a little squirrely, you're not going anywhere. At least until the roof crushes in. But I might eventually do just like a simple roll cage, nothing crazy. I don't plan on, making this car 1,200 wheel horsepower and 8-second quarter mile time anytime soon. That's down the road, way down the road. I know this is just a long video of me rambling, but I promise the next video we're actually going to be doing something. We're going to be pulling this motor out, and we're going to be putting, sizing up our LS. So basically this is going to be a couple part series. So this is part 1 of many. Part 2, pulling the motor. Part 3, prepping the motor. Part 4, prepping the car. Part 5, finding us a transmission. Part 6, dropping it in. 7 and 8 would be just getting the thing running. So hopefully within about 5 or so months, this car will be ready to go. And hopefully over the course of those 5 months, I can get some subscribers, and maybe with some extra income from YouTube and extra money, I can put some more nice ETs into this car. So some ICT billet stuff, because I got one here in town, and just so much other stuff that I can do to this thing with that extra money. So hopefully within the next couple months, I catch some followers. Guys, while you're here, like and subscribe to the video. Thank you very much, and have a good one.